Hello again, guys. It's Zach from Z.M.S.C Modelworks, and welcome to another in-box review today of an aftermarket resin kit. Once again, today's video is sponsored by Hobby Design. It's sent me these kits to review and build for you so that you can get some ideas and possibly build it yourself. Today, we're actually looking at the JS S2000 detail upsets, which is the JS Racing Widebody kit. This comes in a fairly large sized box here, and it's quite tight to actually remove. There we go. So there we go, some nice big box. So some of the big pieces we'll pull out here. Because this uses Tamiya's S2000, it is a showroom kit, so it doesn't have an engine. It's possible that you could cut this out and do the engine bay detail yourself, but that's totally up to you. But this one comes with the hood molded in place. So there's a lot of supports here that we're going to have to cut out. But anyways, so we've got the front bumper. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bags of parts, and then we've got the instruction manuals and a photo etch and decals. Put that on to the side. Start looking at the instructions first. Usual Hot Design fashion, because this is a larger kit, it's going to take a few more pages to show us what we need to do. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces here. We've got our front nose section with the hood, fenders, and front bumper, as well as our front lip. We've got the 2 rear fender flares, spoiler, clear glass for our hardtop, rear bumper, side skirts, looks like I think canards, some more vents, disc brakes, headlights and tail lights, and then rotor, and then a couple mirrors, then some clear parts, and actually 2 different sets of wheels. Wheel designs, and then our tires. We've got the decals, our 4 photo etch pieces, and then some accessory pieces as well. So in this one, we're actually building up the brakes from the centerpiece here, so it looks like it's vented from either side. We've got the brake calipers that are molded in one piece with photo etch that goes on top. And then our rim details there. This is a little bit better of a diagram to show us how we're actually going to be cutting this. We've got the cut lines here for the rear bumper, and then I guess it's showing us here on our side skirts, and then the whole front half of the actual vehicle is being chopped off. And then all the lenses here for our headlights and taillights, which is pretty cool. Nothing on the back of that. Here we go for the front bump, well, the whole front section. So that whole support piece in here is going to be cut out, as well as the holes for the vents. And then we've got telling us to install the headlights in there. There's our canards going in, as well as the front lip. That's showing us where to put the some of the decals. Again, some more decals, clear parts, our rear view mirrors, more decals, and then how we're actually supposed to put the mufflers in place on the front bumper, or the rear bumper, sorry, and then our cutouts for the taillights, how to build the spoiler up, and then our fenders and what have you, some photo etch, and then kind of showing the finished product here and how that should end up looking. Some more vents there as well, and that's just kind of showing the finished product and where you should end up. And some of the interior detail as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at some of the pieces in more detail. Obviously our front assembly here. So there's very few actual sprue gates that we have to cut off underneath. A lot of this we're going to probably keep on just so that we can make sure that we don't take off what we don't need to. So there's some very sturdy mounts here to actually attach this to the front bumper. That's going to require a jig just to make sure it goes on straight and level. And then all this internal supports here are going to have to be milled out, which is going to be lots of fun. Trick questions, not. Alright. Move on to the next few bags here. I think we'll just look at the wheels and the rims. So these guys here, I think these are Einke RPF01s. Those are nicely detailed, and they've also got the valve stems in it. These are molded in with the actual rim. However, these TE37s, which also come with valve stems, are molded separately. So these look like a deep concave type TE37. And then Adovan Neova's usual tires that Hobby Design offers. This bag got some more parts. We've got our hardtop here, which has some locating tabs and whatnot that needs to be removed. So whether you wanted to keep it as a convertible or convert it to a hardtop, it's up to you. We've got our rear bumper here. Just very nice. Again, just a little bit of cleanup, but shouldn't be too bad. And then no real locating tabs. Looks like maybe this part here is a locating tab, but this pour spout here is going to have to be removed. A little bit no flash on that. And then we've got our side skirts, which are quite beefy. And then we've got locating tabs there as well. Not sure if that's the, oh, it looks like the, okay, so this part here is the outside, so that is a locating tab, as is this. And then pour spout at the back that needs to be chopped off. And we've got our left and rights respectively there. Next bag, I'm going to try and keep this all in the bag, but we've got front and rear disc centers, and these are notched to show the vented disc on from the side. So if you decide to, for instance, make the wheels magnetic, and you can pull them on and off to show and display. We've also got our exhaust here and our brake calipers. Very, very nice. Next bag here. We've got several pieces. We've got our 2-step spoiler with the sides molded in, and our notches for the photo etch to go onto. That is a big spoiler for a small car. We've got the front lip. And what I would suggest doing is keeping, depending on how you're painting this, if you're painting it all one color, but if you're going to be doing the lip in carbon fiber, I would suggest leaving that pour spout on here so you have something to grab it, and then you can paint this and use a carbon fiber decal template to put that on there, and then at the final end of the assembly put that together. Got our rear. Got our rear fender flares. A little bit of cleanup you'll have to do, but very nice indeed. Lots of room for detail on that. And then we've got some more delicate parts here. These are some vents. I believe these are the front fenders. Might want to make templates of these before you glue it in, and then that way when you actually glue it in and you go to put the decals on later, like say if you're going to be making these exposed carbon fiber, then what you can do is you can keep those templates and then do them so that you're not trying to get a piece of masking tape in there while this thing is built. So that'll make the process a lot easier later on down the road. And again, we've got some more kind of little vents here as well. So again, make templates of these before you put it on the car, and it'll save you time later on in the build. Just make sure you label them. And then same thing with the canards here. Keep this on our the little pour sprue, and paint them and decal them up beforehand, and then put them on the car after. Okay. Last bit of resin here is going to be our rear view mirrors. There's very little to actually grab on here. Now, it looks like what they've done is they've put this little kind of pour spout in there, so something to grab onto and hold on to while you're actually going to be painting these. So I'll keep that in mind. And then we've got our front headlights. Very nicely detailed in there. I'll take some nice detail painting to it well. And then taillights here. Also very nice. Breaking up in the last bag of sort of parts. We've got our seatbelt material here. We've got our seatbelt buckles. Our clear pieces, clear resin pieces. These will polish up a lot nicer than plastic will if you're using general compounds. So just keep that in mind, that you might need to polish the backside to make them nice and clear. We've got some indicators there as well, molded in clear. We've got the clear portion of our hardtop. That looks like it's been vacuum formed. So measure 50 times, cut once, and cut it when you're doing this one especially. Cut it wide. You know, give yourself some room to trim it down, and then use a finer sanding stick or sandpaper, whatever your preferred method is, just to bring it down slowly, so that way you're only taking little little strips or portions of it off at a time, and that'll give you the most perfect fit, rather than trying to cut it perfect the first time, possibly screwing it up, and then you end up with, you know, an ill-fitting part, and you've got to figure out something to correct it. And then last, we have our decals and our photo etch. We've got quite a few decal sheets here. So we've got some Honda badges. So depending on your preferred method of marking and labeling, you can use those. We've got our J's Racing ones as well, and then some more Honda emblems. We've got several different colors of them there. And then our four decal sheets. So we've got the front and back halves of the rotors. And what you can do while it's on the photo etch piece like this is using a heavy grit of sandpaper and then going around this in a circle, making sure you go in the right directions. But you can make these look as though they've been worn, especially with how detailed this kit is, and the possibility of leaving the one or two wheels off just to show that it's, you know, being worked on, you know, would really elevate the level of detail that you can get. So we've got some more mesh here for the wide body, some oil cooler or radiator detail there. Caliper detail, mirrors, and then we've got our wiper blade assemblies there as well. So it looks like you get two different types of, I'm not sure if that's the front and rear rotors or whether that's two different types of caliper details here, but it looks like here where the writing is indented, right? It's been lasered out, whereas here the lettering is on top. So whether you want to paint and then using kind of a capillary action to paint inside here and then wipe it clean so that it's just the paint that goes inside the lettering, or if you want to paint the whole caliper color and then using a soft sanding method or a file to kind of bring the paint off of the raised detail here, that gives you some definite options as far as detail and level of finish. So something to keep in mind. We've got our detail here for some of the canards and for the spoiler. And then lastly we have some S2000 badges, some Honda badges. You can put those Honda decals on and have them stand out really nicely. And then some pedal details there. And then our seat belt buckles. So a lot of stuff in this kit, a lot of detail that you can go into if you take your time and do things, you know, properly and slowly. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks to Hobby Design for these kits to review and look at. And then we're going to be doing this kit, which is the Honda S2000 kit, which is a showroom one with no hood. But I'm kind of torn as to what exactly I want to do with this. So if you guys want to hop in, I'll show you some photos here. I've got a couple of options. Do I want to do this Jay's Racing one with the teal and the chrome? Do I want to do something kind of wild with this kind of dragon logo and all the exposed carbon fiber on the top? Or do I want to do something clean with this here? So let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think would be cool and what you guys would want to see, and then we'll do it up that way and we'll tally up the votes at the end. So thanks again for watching. Thanks to Hobby Design, and we'll see you in the next video.